everybody, and welcome back to my Crafty Dan. It's Debbie here, and this time I'm on the camera. Last Thursday, I posted the beginning of a series for new planners, and I talked about choosing the right planner and how I miserably failed at it. I have probably a half a dozen planners here that have 2 or 3 weeks in them, and then I gave up because it just wasn't my size or my style, or it wasn't what I was looking for. It wasn't what I needed. So I'd like to talk this week about functionality and style in a planner and how those things can determine what type of a planner you should look for. Whether you choose a ring bound or a coil bound or a disc bound, or whether it's a traveler's notebook style or even just a dollar store agenda, what you use it for is going to determine whether it is going to work for you or not. So I decided to kind of narrow this down to 2 different types of people. When I was young, I was a list keeper. I kept lists. I kept lists of absolutely everything. And I would write them down on little scraps of paper, and then I'd lose them. So I couldn't, I couldn't follow the list of things that I needed to do anyway. And I did this right from the time I was in school, through all of raising my kids, and right up until a couple of years ago when I finally found a vertical planner. When I found my Happy Planner that had the columns in it, I was head over heels in love with that planner, simply because I could plan by making lists. So if you're a list maker, then vertical is something that you should definitely try out. And excuse me. Sorry, I still have a little bit of that cold, and as I'm talking, I find that it builds up on me. But I had a sister, or I have a sister, who is an author. She doesn't make lists. She doesn't put anything down to short form. She's a storyteller. So when she has to do something, she writes out a detailed story of what she has to do and where she has to go to do it, and blah, blah, blah. So a vertical planner would never, ever be any good for her. The horizontal planners, I've got an old Recollections one in here that I've tried using for several different things, and it didn't work. But just for an example, in the Recollections horizontal planner, you've got all of this room to write your little story of what you have to do and how your day is going to go. Or if you're that type of a person, then try a horizontal layout, because the two biggest differences in planner styles are horizontal and vertical. So it depends what type of a person you are as to whether you're going to like one or the other. So take that into consideration when you're buying a planner. There's nothing worse than spending a ton of money. I got that one really cheap, thank goodness, because I got it on sale. And if I hadn't have, I would have been sorely disappointed, because being a list maker, that doesn't allow me to make lists. So one of the other things that you have to try to consider when you're looking for a planner is the functionality. Are you the type of a person who plans your whole week out and needs to have a spot for every little detail, and you are kept accountable by that plan? Or are you more like me, where you decorate at the beginning of the week and then sit down with a coffee in the morning and plan your day? And other than my work schedule, when I'm going to work, other than that schedule or appointments, I do that. I like to sit down and take that 10 minutes with my coffee in the morning and plan out my day. And it doesn't always go according to schedule. And that's no big deal for me. I can always move something up to the next day because I haven't planned that yet. But so you have to take things like that into consideration as well. Are you a pre-planner, or do you like to write things down after you're done to keep track? And that's something else that you have to consider when you're deciding on how you're going to plan as well, and how you're going to decorate your planner as well. So this isn't going to be a long video. I just wanted to share a few things that I've come across in making my own mistakes. And I never would have gotten a horizontal planner if I had have realized that I'm a list maker person. But it was something that I mean, it jumped right out at me. I've been like that my whole life. I just didn't take note of the fact that that's the way I was. I think we know ourselves less than other people know us sometimes. But are you a memory keeper? Because if you're only planning, if you're a mom, and you don't have a whole bunch of stuff that needs to be planned out, and a lot of stuff is revolves around your children or your family, and you want to do more of a memory style planning, then Mambi has those wonderful memory keeping planners now that have places for pictures and, you know, a place to journal and stuff like that. So decide what you want your planner to, what purpose. Decide what purpose you want your planner to have before you decide on that planner. Planners are pricey. And I'm going to go back and reiterate again. Last week I talked about buying little inserts or notebooks in the size so that you could find what size you wanted, and trying them out before you bought like traveler's notebook covers or large size journals or planners and things like that. And the same thing goes with this, with the horizontal planning and the vertical planning. Take a piece of paper and draw your lines up and down, or draw your lines side to side, mark your days in, and plan in it for a week or two. If you're still, it's just paper. You can toss it if it's not working. So, and you could do both styles. You can do one week and one the next week and see if that's what you like. But don't be afraid to, experiment, and don't be afraid to try it out. Nobody's going to see it but you. And there's no reason to make costly mistakes in what you want to purchase when you don't have to. So I've always told my kids when they were growing to learn by other people's mistakes. And I'm sure I haven't, because I would watch videos and I would see how cool something looked in somebody else's style, and I'd think, oh, I want to try that. So I'd go out and I'd buy the planner instead of taking a piece of paper and actually trying it. And it wasn't always the right thing to do. So don't be me. Please don't be me. I try to jump on the bandwagon, and it's been the last couple of years that I've decided that that's not a really efficient way to live your life. So yeah, even for young people just starting out, try it first, see if you like it, and then maybe buy, if you do think you like something, maybe buy the cheaper version first and then upgrade if that's what you're going to stick with. So I hope you like this. It's just a little bit of information that I thought I'd pass along from my own mistakes. And if you like this series, or you like this type of video, or even if you just like seeing me face to face instead of like down on the tabletop all the time, let me know in the comments. So if you like it, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and comment. And of course, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss anything. So bye-bye, everybody. Have a great day.